Welcome everybody. These are the 4 people that made this year's quilts, and we thought we would just put together a short little video on some of the things that we found helpful. One thing you're going to notice in this is that we all have a little different way of doing it, but it all comes out the same. So if you find a way that works for you and you get the blocks to come out correctly, go for it. So we have Mary, we have Perlina, we have Marilee, and we have Dee. And we're going to show you our tips and tricks. So the first thing we're going to cover is the actual cutting. And Dee's going to show you how to cut from the 5-inch square. A lot of your directions this year cut from a 5-inch square. Okay, Dee.
Do you want to talk?
You don't have to talk.
Okay.
I'll talk for Dee. Dee has a laryngitis, so she can't talk, which is really nice. Because but she's just going to line up. She's going to cut the curve first. Notice she lined it up in the corner so she doesn't have to cut the 2 straight sides. And one reason we recommend the twirly mat is that it will move as you're cutting. And now she's going to cut the L straight. And now, depending on whose directions you listen to or where you watch on YouTube, some people will cut the curve first. I particularly like to cut the straight side, then into the curve, and then the straight side. How about you guys? Is that what you did?
Same here.
Yeah, so all of us did that. We cut the straights, the curve, then the straights.
Except for Dee.
Except for Dee. She cuts the 2 straights first. Which is why we're making this. We just want to show you that there's different ways of doing this and you'll come out with the exact same thing. Now we are using the block lock rulers. These are all oversized. It is a necessity for this particular quilt to have these block lock rulers. So one of the tools that we want to make sure that you notice is that we like the twirly mats because it makes it so much easier to cut. We also like the fabric grips. So on this one you can see this little heart, and that's a grippy thing. Mary likes to use the sandpaper grips, and there's a lot of different kind of grips on the market, but you'll probably like to have some kind of a grip on the back of your 3 rulers to help hold it in place. Anything else on cutting, girls? On the initial cut?
One thing I would add
Oh yeah.
is that when you're starting, you don't want to start off. You want to have your blade right next to the ruler, roll back, and then forward. That'll save your point.
Saves the points of your rulers.
Right.
And for all those people who have taken rotary cutter, know that the place we nick our blades on our cutters is always at the edge of the ruler. So that's a great tip, Dee. Also, if you notice, she's using a 28mm ruler, or cutter. This is the 45, this is 28. You have to have a 28 this year. This is just too big. Believe it or not, the 45 is just too big. You need this 18-inch. Or 28-inch, I'm sorry.
Or an 18 will work.
18 will work, but you'll work a little harder.
You work a little harder, and if you don't have it, there's no use to get it.
Yes, yes. If you already have an 18, use it. If you don't have an 18 or a 28, then purchase one of these.
So, right size blade, a mat you can turn, and gripper sticks.
Good. So now we're going to talk about pinning. And we all have a little bit of a unique way of pinning. Mary, am I not in the camera? No. Mary, am I good?
Yeah. Yes.
Puts a dot of glue on each corner. Then she makes sure that the edges are straight up and down, like this. Straight up and down, here and here, the corners match. And then she brings this one over to the other corner and make sure it is straight up and down. See, you don't want it to be like this.
Well, I would only do one because,
You'd only do one and then sew it?
yeah, because see how that just popped right off
Yeah.
there? Because you have to let that dry a little bit. So I just did my first one.
So she does her first one and she starts stitching and then gradually bends this all the way around. And then when she gets to the other end, she makes sure that it's even. I think we all find the centers by pressing the centers. I think that's a given, that you have to find the centers and press the centers. Now for those of us that pin, I find the center where I've pressed it and put a pin in it. And then I bring my edge around just like she does with the glue. And I have to admit, I was not real successful with the glue, but if it works for you like it did for Mary, I say go for it. The whole purpose of this is just to show you different ways of getting to the same end. And I am a 3-pinner. Mary is a no-pinner. I am a 3-pinner. I make sure these edges are nice and straight. Am I still in the camera here? Nice and straight. And then I'm going to have Perlina come over because Perlina puts in more, right?
Yes, but I also base before I do that.
Oh, she goes to the sewing machine and she runs a basting stitch and then gathers it so it's nice and straight.
And if anyone's ever put a shoulder, a sleeve and a shoulder in a garment, it's the same concept.
So this would be a straight part of your garment, and this is the sleeve going into the cap of the top of your, and you can put more pins in there. So so far that's 3 different ways that we do it, and then there's D. And D we almost have to show you at the sewing machine. So we'll go right over to the sewing machine. For those of you that have taken classes with me and Dee, both in the class, we all know that she approaches from the left and I approach from the right, and we meet in the center and we always get things done. So she does the no pinning technique. So she's going to show you, actually you do 2 pins. She marked the centers of her pie and her L shape with pins, and now she's dropped the needle in to the fabric, not on the edge, but actually into the fabric, and she's going to start sewing with a 1/4-inch foot. Remember girls, we need 1/4-inch feet on these. She also likes to use her knee lift to raise and lower the pressure foot. So now she's going to start sewing that curve.
And the one thing about it is that on your foot, on your presser foot, you have a natural curve on there. If you have the fabric kind of follow that natural curve and you just kind of feed it very slowly and then presser foot change when you need to. And you pull the L shape underneath. And my pins should meet pretty close. That means that I'm pretty much on the mark for being in the center. And then I'll stitch around a little bit more. Pull my L shape underneath, match my raw seams. Keep that top one. When it gets to the bottom here, my fat fingers can't handle it. So I get tweezers for the top and pull it up. With these tweezers, I'm not going to fit. You want tweezers that will grab your fabric. And you want to hold it. And I have better. These is tweezers. I'm going to have to grab this. And you want to pull that at the very last. You want to pull it so the edges will be straight. Okay.
And if you have cover, you don't have to have a knee lift either.
And then I finger press whatever way I need to finger press.
Okay, for our last little quick tip, we're going to show you how to trim the final trim. And if you notice, what are you showing us? It's
The trim for the block
yes.
ruler.
This is the third template in your set of 3, and we just made this red and yellow one. And Dee wants me to be sure. She still can't talk. She wants me to make sure that you have to press these away from the pie shape towards the L shape for the block lock to work correctly. So every time you go to the ironing board, you're pressing away from the yellow in our little block there. Now you can see, let's see if I can zoom in a little here. Nope, I'm in as far as I can go. But you can see that there is extra. These are intentionally for block lock. They're intentionally oversized so that you will always end up with a perfect 3.5 inch square after it's all trimmed up. Before then, it's going to be bigger. So she's going to show you how to trim now.
Make sure you have fabric all the way around.
Yeah, she's got fabric all the way around. And now it's kind of important too, Dee, isn't it, to line up the corners?
Absolutely.
This corner and this corner. So that you're getting on the straight of grain as close as possible. Now I will tell you, sometimes when as Dee's trimming this for us, sometimes as I trim, I get my 45mm rotary cutter out because these are all 4 straight sides. It will trim with the 28mm if it's nice and sharp. Of course, she's using mine, and I've already made my quilt, so I probably need a new blade in it. I'm just guessing. I did a lot of trimming on that quilt. Notice how easy it is with the rotating mat. It is a luxury to buy the 28mm and the rotating mat, but it will make your life so easy. And it opens all kinds of possibilities for future quilts, making them easier to handle than just trying to straight cut them on a straight mat. So you might want to treat yourself this year for a rotating mat, and for sure a 28mm. Now she has a perfect drunkard's path. Now Mary, who broke her wrist, made us this drunkard's path, and now look how catty squannel it is. See how the red is hanging off on the left side of the blue? As long as you can get your template fully on it, you can still use it. That's how forgiving the oversizing of these blocks are. They don't have to end up perfect on each edge. They can be off. Look how much that's off. That's a good 3/8 of an inch. On one side it was off. And so she's going to go ahead and trim this. Any thoughts, Dee, as you're twirling that mat around?
Make sure you just, have firm grip on the mat with your fingers, and that you don't let this slide around too much in the arc. When you get to this point, you want to make sure your sides are here, because you're going to trim.
And notice she starts up, comes back, and then up again, so she doesn't hit her cutter on the corner of the template. Up, back, up. And now, as bad off as that little block was, it's now a perfect one, and it will pair. Oh, we could have so much fun if we used different colors than what we did. They're perfect to go. They can be used together now. Now, one other thing.
We want to talk about butting up the seams
Yes.
with these two.
Yes, right here is the last thing we want to talk about real quickly, and we talk about this in the monthly videos too, is that matching this seam to this one, you're going to have to repress one of the blocks going the opposite direction. You must cut with the seams going away from the pie, but if you're matching seams and you have to repress after it's cut, one of the seams go in the opposite direction. And we're just going to finger press it because we don't have an iron here. So can you hold it up to about right here? Down a little. There you go. So hopefully you can see that now the seams are going opposite directions and they'll butt up and you'll get a nice little curve, a half circle curve there because you've repressed and the seams will butt right into each other. I hope you liked our little tips. We just thought we'd do a quick little video, even though a lot of this is covered in video 1 and in the monthly videos. We just want to give you a heads up that things that we found especially helpful. Good luck!